Welcome to the preview, Chapter 24, World War Looms, Section 3, the Holocaust. Our objectives: I can explain the reasons behind the Nazis' persecution of the Jews and the problem facing Jewish refugees. I can describe the Nazis' final solution to the Jewish problem, what they perceive to be the Jewish problem, and the horrors of the Holocaust. And 3, I can identify and describe the profound and lasting effects of the Holocaust on survivors. Our terms and names: Holocaust, the systematic murder of 11 million Jews and other people in Europe by the Nazis. Kristallnacht, name given the night of November 9, 1938, when Nazis in Germany attacked Jews, their businesses, and their synagogues. Genocide, deliberate and systematic killing of an entire people. Ghetto, a segregated neighborhood. Concentration camp, prison camps operated by the Nazis where Jews and others were starved while doing slave labor or murdered. The persecution begins. The goal of Hitler, one of his goals when he took over as the dictator of Germany, was to make Germany racially pure. And what that meant for Hitler was that the Aryans, what he considered to be the superior race, they would be the surviving race, the race that would be the true Germans. So in 1933, Hitler ordered all non-Aryans out of government jobs. He then began persecuting non-Aryans, especially Jews. This attitude led to the Holocaust, which was the systematic murder of over 11 million people across Europe. Anti-Semitism, or being against, having attitudes against the Jewish people, anti-Semitism has a long history in Germany. Part of what went with this notion was that Germans would use Jews as a scapegoat to blame for their failures, for the failures of Germany as a country. The Jewish people would be blamed. In 1935, new laws came into effect which took away Jews' civil rights and their property, and they were forced to wear yellow stars of David so that they were marked and set apart. November 9th, 1938 marked the beginning of Kristallnacht, attacks on Jews by Nazi stormtroopers. As a result of what was going on, many Jews began to flee Germany. However, not all countries were willing to accept Jewish refugees. Once war broke out, there was concerns that the refugees could actually be enemy agents. The final solution, Hitler's final solution. Hitler's ultimate goal was to get rid of all Jews. In 1939, only about 250,000 Jews were left in Germany. However, other countries occupied by Hitler had millions more Jews. The final solution equals genocide, or the deliberate and systematic killing of an entire population. In this case, the deliberate and systematic killing of Jewish people. Political opponents were also involved: communists, socialists, liberals, other groups, gypsies, Freemasons, Jehovah's Witnesses, homosexuals, the disabled, the terminally ill. They were all rounded up and condemned to a life of slavery and death. Some Jews were forced to live in ghettos, which were segregated areas where they were made to work in factories or left to starve. It should be pointed out that the Jewish people, the Jews, did not give up. In fact, they resisted however they could, setting up schools and even underground newspapers. The final stage, in terms of this final solution, most Jews were rounded up and they were sent to concentration camps. And the early concentration camps did not kill Jews fast enough for the Nazis. So in 1941, the first death camps were built in Poland. The death camps had gas chambers and could kill 12,000 people a day. First, the bodies were buried or burned in huge pits. Eventually, large crematoriums were built that destroyed the bodies and all evidence. It's estimated that 6 million Jews died in death camps and Nazi massacres. Some Jews survived the concentration camps. Elie Wiesel is a survivor of Auschwitz and was the recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize in 1986. And this concludes our preview of Chapter 24, Section 3.